Well, hello there, my Libra collective sun, moon, rising suns. Welcome to your What Do I Need read. Oh, there he goes. From this full moon to new moon next. And here's my kitten, my bowling ball, meatloaf kitten. Melchior is huge. He was sitting there. I was hoping, oh, maybe he will stay. I don't know. He's fickle. He's a Taurus. He's going to do what he wants to do. Sorry. Live entertainment. For me, at least. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon in Cancer to new moon next in Aquarius. There he goes. January 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Yeah, he got me, but he didn't draw blood. Just check it. Bleed on the cards. Welcome. My pleasure to be reading for you, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, cat mom of 3. Yeah, I'm a guy, but they call me Mama because they come up to me and they go, Mama, what else are you going to do? Correct them? They're cats, right? So, welcome. We're going to get down to business. This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Libra signs. Please do check your other signs. Trying to keep these between 20 and 25 minutes. Might go a little bit over here and there. So that you can check your other signs. And What Do I Need read is sort of like going to the divine through a divination system every day and going, all right, what do I need, right? Like, I know I got to brush my teeth. I know I got to go to work. You know, the things we know we have to do that we need. Breathe, drink water, things like that. But to go to the divine and say, well, okay, but, you know, here I am, a soul that's been chosen to play this role in this body, in this name. What do I need today, right? What do I need? Except that, you know, so you could check an oracle card every day. It's a good idea. I mean, it's a good spiritual practice. Just to help yourself tune and keep your eyes open throughout the day to see if the symbolism repeats. But this is a little bit different. It's working for a half of a moon cycle, if you will, a waning moon cycle in this case. Full moon in Cancer, which is on January 10th, 2020, to new moon in Aquarius, which is the 24th, right? It's exactly 14 days. So what do you need? Something that you can, waning moon, focus on letting go. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to minimize? What do I need to kind of push away, right? You know, kind of wax the distance, but release and let go. Cool, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at 6 different cards, one from 6 different decks, 6 different voices of the divine that I am intimately connected with. And we'll see how this goes. Oh, and if it doesn't resonate, just go check your other signs. It's a general read, right? It's not supposed to fit everybody like fingerprint reading, right? That's a personal reading. You want one of those with me? I'm easy enough to book. Check out my description box. Oh, and if you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe, because the very first link, there's some, you know, I explain what the reading's about, but then there's the first video link, is for Drunk Tarot. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, because that's when you get super live chat, I will do Drunk Tarot at least once a month for the first couple of months, and that explains what that is. And it's fun. I don't drink that often. I mean, really, like, what? I had like a glass of champagne or 2 early in the day on New Year's Eve, and it was just a giggly mess. And I was reading people at the party, which is, I did Drunk Tarot. Nobody filmed it, but it was pretty funny. It was good, too. People were like, oh, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, you know, the tits. It was a lot of fun. So can you imagine that on Super Live Chat? Anyway, so that being said, what else? Please remember to breathe. That is really important, because if I don't remember to breathe, I become a symbolic machine gun. Because the chi and the prana and the grace and the guidance of the gods and the masters, it gets so high and so intense sometimes that if I don't slow it down, I go too fast, right? Because I'm translating the energy, if you will, the vibration, first clairvoyantly and empathically. I'm a clairvoyant empath, but then it hits that throat chakra and it comes out. So, see, that choice to breathe, really important for me. And what it does for you is it keeps you in the present moment. So your mind doesn't wander, so you can really take in the information, but that you're also tuning to your own higher self, your own guidance, your own grace, which is all one, right? It's the same one I'm tuning into, even though we're separated by time and space. So you'll hear me say, breathe, right? That's mostly for me. But if you can stay in the present moment with me, we'll all get more out of this. Cool, cool. I guess that's about it, my Libras. Now, I'm Venus in Libra, so this reading doesn't include me. but Mercury conjunct Venus in Libra. That's a lot. Yeah, it was like Hermes and Aphrodite hanging out in my third house because I'm Leo rising, right? So I'm feeling you, my Libs. Nice deep breath. Oh, this will be lovely. This feels good. All right, here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one Caroline Mace archetype card to represent the soul power being developed, looked at, or that this Libra collective sun, moon, rising sign needs to look at it. So what do I need reading? What do they need? What is the dominant archetype in their soul alchemistry, right? Alchemical chemistry that they need to kind of deal with this full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius. Oh, here we go. The addict archetype. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't necessarily mean you have the addict archetype. In the relationship spreads I've seen that's way more specific, right? Like when you've got divine feminine on this side, divine masculine on this side. But when it's a what do I need reading, I've seen for myself since I've been doing these, because I do watch my own, right? I record them and then I watch my own, in the edits at least, that I see, okay, that's not one that, because like the addict archetype is not in me. Like I quit smoking like right before Thanksgiving. I haven't even thought about it. Like I'm not really addictive that way. Why? Because I've healed a lot of my internal pain being on a spiritual journey since what? Birth, right? I woke up early this life. Great fun. But you know, so my addictions are not what they used to be, right? Just been whittling away at those for decades. So this may be you, because everybody has their addictions, by the way. It's just the difference between having an addiction and being an addict, particularly an archetypal addict, which can be lifelong or reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? So I'm going to read this, but just keep in mind, this might be someone or something that you are dealing with. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not. You'll know by how the energy feels in your body. All right, so don't overthink it. Just go, and remember, everybody has their pain and suffering. What do we do to cope? Which is another way, you know, in unhealthy attached ways. So let me read the shadow and the light, because as dark as any archetype is in the shadow, as toxic as the lead is just as gorgeous and bright and brilliant and healing as the gold is. I prefer the language of alchemy. Nice deep breath. The shadow attribute of the addict archetype compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. And mind you, that's not just about external forms, right? That can be about lying. Like, what's a compulsive liar, right? So if you're dealing with compulsive lies, compulsive deception, right? Codependence, right? Where you make the person the drug, or you are the drug, right? So, you know, people want to like categorize addictions. Yeah, no, I've lost many a friend to heroin addiction. I don't mean by their death, but by the destruction that they left in their path, and they just sort of disappeared. Obviously, a lot of pain going on there. It's a whole other issue. I am a spiritual counselor, not a psychologist, right? So I deal with the soul end of it. And people, yes, it's a horrible addiction. It's a life-destroying addiction, but no more or less than codependence. It's just codependence is more long-term, right? It's a difference of time versus intensity. So we all have them. Think of the soul before it incarnates being shown a character description like in a script. And they say, okay, and here are their addictions. It's almost like in a resume. It's like special skills. Well, addictions for this life are, and everybody's got them, right? So, you know, maybe it is a difference of volume or intensity, but just know that, right? Everybody's doing that. It doesn't, just because someone's an addict doesn't make them a bad person. It means that they're in pain, right? It's so important to know that, because now look at the light side of it. Maybe this is like a good education for all of us in this vid to get that addictions are soul choices made prior to descent, before coming into the body, so that the soul has something so consistent to heal that over a lifetime it just makes the soul shine. So the light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, both in yourself and in someone else. And I'm telling you, unless they're really fucking sneaky about it, I can usually spot an addiction, if not an addict, an addiction. Which is why, you know, even in relationships, go slow, right? You can pay attention. Not that you're looking for evidence of someone's guilt, but particularly when the gut, right? Like if you've ever healed an addiction within yourself, you know what I mean? It's like you just like, and it's usually one that you've dealt with, right? Because you know the scent of it in the air, so to speak, the vibe. So keep an eye on that. And by the way, we're talking a waning moon. What better time to deal with an addiction? Because you're working with the lunar cycle, the emotional cycle of release and erosion, right? Rock and roll. It's good to know. That's why readings are helpful. There are no bad readings unless the person just sucks. But even that's got to help somebody, right? It's the quantum. Nobody would do this work unless they had some sort of skill, right? Why else would the divine work through them? Unless they're just scamming, in which case, they'll deal. I've been doing this since I'm 12. I'm 51, and I know I don't look it. That's tarot for you. Breathe. We're going to ask the Ascended Masters through half of the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. The Chuck Spezzano Love Pack is a wonderful deck, but it has 4 suits. The luck, the healing, the luck, the healing, the grace suit, and then the problem suit, which I call the Debbie Downer womp womp cards. So I figured this is what they told me. They're like, okay, pull one of those to tune into the shadow attribute of whatever the archetype is. So thought we were done with that? No, breathe. Oh, my masters, please. This is going to be a long one, isn't it? It's an air sign. Okay. My Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity for this Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. For this full moon to new moon next, a card to clarify the shadow attribute of the addict archetype for them for this waning moon. Oh, this clarifies naivete. This might not be your addiction, right? Naivete, unless you're naive about your own addictions, which, yes, we can be if we only think of them as external forms, right? Or if we only think of them as drugs and alcohol. Like, you could be addicted to sugar. I was much heavier. If you actually go back and look in my back catalog, oh God, my old YouTube videos, I didn't start this channel doing readings. I started doing spiritual teaching because that's what I do. I'm a minister. I guess I'm still a minister, right? So, you know, but my work at the Silver Broom in Sayville for over a decade. That's all, well, at least 3 years of it is on there. You'll see it's like long hair, short hair, all different weights, but nothing like a couple of dark nights of the soul to make you lose the weight, right? So, you know, to be naive about someone else's, right? To be naive about someone else's addiction, or if you only think of it as, you know, drugs and alcohol, just be aware of it. And that's why we're not done. That's why we've got like 4 other cards to look at. And we're going to end with the new deck, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn, Scott Help. It always does. It's so amazing. So simple, right? But the simple need not imply easy, Course in Miracles. But also sometimes you need a lightsaber to cut through shit, right? The Gordian knot. You try and figure it out on your own. Don't. That's trying to do it with the ego alone. You just ask the light to come in. Not that it's easy. Oh, please destroy all my illusions. We'll send you right back into an addiction. Nice deep breath. Let's ask the angels. I made somebody laugh on that one. Ah, my angels, my angels, my angels. My first reading with you for the day. Here we go. Please, one card in clarity for this Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign for this new moon in Cancer to full moon in Aquarius. Please, considering we've got the addict and naivete on the table, what is your overview? What do they need? Dreams, which can be 2 different ways. It can be life dreams and aspirations. It can also mean the sleepy nocturnal dreams, but it can also mean that there's an illusion going on here, that there's like, oh, life could be a dream, shaboom, right? That sort of, something's not quite in reality here, a possibility. And with that naivete and addiction, that does make sense. Really, really good time for truth to come in, because the truth will set you free, but it will probably piss you off first. Gloria Steinem quote. Bless her heart and soul. Would love to meet her one day. You know, there are lots of people I want to meet that I don't want to work for, right? I don't know, maybe she's lovely to work for, but never meet your heroes, right? Except to shake their hand and say thank you. That's all I want to do. Like, I have this thing, like, if I, like, like, if I was ever on an elevator and Bette Midler was on there, Bette Midler saved my life when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. I saw her live in concert, Jones Beach, the Art or Bust tour. There she was in that mermaid fin and those in the wheelchair, Dolores Delago, and something changed in my soul. It's like, if she can get away with that, right? Anyway, So what we're going to do now is we are going to have a look-see-dooksy at the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Usually just the voices of the goddesses, but this time the voice of the goddesses and the gods. We're not going to be using the mythic tarot for the divine masculine so much in this one, actually at all. So take a nice deep breath. Let's ask the gods and goddesses a nice tarot, right? Nothing like a piece, like a pictorial story to give you something else to look at. Nice deep breath. Oh, my gods and goddesses, please. One card in clarity for this Libra collective sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need for this new moon in Cancer to the, this full moon in Cancer to the new moon in Aquarius, January 2020? The collective pantheon say the addict. The masters say naivete is the problem. The angels are talking about the card of dreams, which can be about aspirations, and that might be part of the collective in there, that, you know, that there's a dream that they want to manifest, but also it can be complete unconsciousness, lost in an illusion. So, my gods, please clarify, particularly because you're gods of air for me. Please, one card in clarity for this Libra collective sun. I feel you, sun, moon, rising sign. This full moon to new moon next. Victory. Excellent. So, you know, the Seven of Flames. Usually we see victory in the Rider-Waite Tarot as the Six of Flames. This is the Seven. Just, she structured it differently, and I love a good tweak. I love a good variation on a theme, right? So here we've got this galloping forward. Now, what I love about this card, you know, three women galloping on horses, but if you can't really see it, I'm sure, in the video, but they're on cooling lava, right? So so underneath the crust of the cooling lava, there is all this motion going on that they can't see, but maybe perhaps they feel, and they are going in the direction of. So this victory isn't just their effort, that there's something unseen, right? It's element of fire, right? Something transformative moving them along. So that certainly indicates to me this is something sort of fated, destined, particularly if it's about overcoming, healing, and addiction while being naive, like have no idea what's going on under the surface. But with this card of the dream, like, I really can feel that in there for a lot of you. It is like, yeah, because I hope that I'll be able to do this in my life, but this has been holding me back. Because remember, an addiction doesn't always mean drugs and alcohol. We need to see larger outside of that. You can be addicted to a thought pattern. I know people who are addicted to being right, that when they're proven wrong, they go through withdrawal. I mean, really, it can be that subtle. So that dream thing of there, it's like, wake up, Pearl. You know what I mean? Why? Because that would be stunning. Sorry, I had it on the table. I knew I was going to use it sooner or later. Thank you, Dirt Squirrel. Wouldn't it be funny if they sponsored me? I want Dirt Squirrel, and I want Overtone for my Overtone Purple for Brown. Sponsor me. Once I hit 1,000, they can't do it, I think, until you hit. So like and subscribe. Nothing like talking to air signs. Y'all can switch topics like that. Did I mention Mercury conjunct Venus and Libra? Yeah. Nice deep breath. The higher selves of all involved through the Whispers of Love oracles. This is your higher self and the higher selves of anybody else involved in your situation, right? Nice deep breath. Let's do this. The higher selves of all involved. Please, one card for this Libra collective sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need? What do they need for this January full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius? Considering we got the addict, naivete, dreams, and victory. What do they need? Higher selves of all involved. Rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks, good, right? So back it the fuck up. It's cold. Well, wherever you are is where you are. Where I am on Long Island this January, February, they might as well just call it iceberg on Long Island. Fucking freezing. So rest and relax. Hibernate. Hibernate. Take the week, right? You know, take the week off if you can. But even today I slept in, like, particularly what's going on in the world right now, and I'm not even talking about, I'm not bringing politics into my work on YouTube, at least. Spiritual counseling, I have to know what's going on in the world so that when people are freaking out, I know what the fuck they're talking about, and I do. Can feel it, let alone if I keep my, you know, finger on the pulse, not all day long. That rest and relaxation, to pull back, to de-stress, because if you're not resting, if you're constantly input, think of the nervous system as being inflamed, right? Like an inflamed muscle, right? Like when you get inflammation in the body, inflamed sinuses. Think of your nervous system just being inflamed, right? You need time to process, to rest, to relax. Like think lax, you get tense and then you relax, right? It's almost like, well, in the word rehabilitation, right? Addicts, to restore something to its original setting or its original state, right? So rest and relaxation. So in terms of what you need, that is perfect for a waning moon. Absolutely perfect. And do remember the 3 days before new moon is called dark moon. It's the darkest of the dark part of the cycle. I would love to spend those 3 days in bed, usually by myself, but you never know. Last card down, my Libras, we're going to do the Healing Mantra deck. And if you are new, these are wonderful. I've only had them for, have I had them a month? Maybe not even. I think I got them on the 18th of December. So wonderful. I've been using them in my own personal life. Amazing. I call them my cardboard lightsabers. They just cut through shit, as I said before. One side of the card is the name of the mantra. The other side is the mantra itself. And in the little booklet, there's like a paragraph that just puts more than just the cherry on the sundae. Well, I love Reese's Pieces on anything sweet. I'm such a peanut butter boy. You'll like it, right? So this is, again, the Masters. We're double dipping with the Masters. We did with that Chuck Spezzano card. Now we're going to do with Matt and the Masters, shall we? Nice deep breath. Exhale first. Inhale. Oh, my Masters, please. One card in clarity. A healing mantra for this Libra collective sun, moon, rising sign. For this full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius, January 2020. Please, a healing mantra for them. Really, considering we're dealing with addictions, their own or somebody else's, with naivete. They might not even know what's going on. With dreams, which has so many different meanings there, as we've discussed it. But with that card of victory, right? If there's no victory without obstacles, right? You got to overcome something. But rest and relaxation is essential, so maybe this is about detoxing stress from the body at the same time, more internal than external, because that's absolutely necessary. And is she underwater? She most certainly is underwater. There are dolphins swimming above her. I never noticed that before. It's card number 42. That makes us 6. Harmony and balance. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks. She a mermaid sleeping on the bottom of the ground. Bette Midler mermaid. Okay, Ascended Masters, so please, what is a healing mantra for them? No joke here, please. One card in clarity from my Libra Sun, Moon, Risings. This one. Expanding inner power. Expanding inner power. Like I was just saying, this feels like more yin, right? Like more rest, go within. I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice. That's the mantra itself. I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice. Expanding inner power. Let's look. Not as familiar with that one. Like I said, I only got them a little while ago. Expanding inner power. Here we go. I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice. When inner power expands, you are able to openly communicate your truths, aspirations, and ideas in a way of circulating the energy that pours in the form of the cosmos. A little tricky sentence there. I'm going to reread that. When inner power expands, you are able to openly communicate your truths, aspirations, and ideas as a way of circulating the energy that pours in from the cosmos. Okay, so the energy is pouring into you, inspiration, and your creativity kicks in. It starts in the 8th chakra, downloads into the crown chakra like the radar does, right? Like the antenna comes in, hits the third eye, ding, 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 thought, 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 thought. You chew on it, you chew on it, you chew on it. It makes its way down through the chakra system into manifestation, pouring in from the universe. Got it. As the energy gets circulated by the sharing of your ideas, talk, and your creativity, the universe is given permission to pour more inspiration, passion, and joy into your energy field, just like doing a reading. Oh my God. As your inner power expands, creativity becomes the life force of source energy surging through you to inspire the embodiment of your higher self. which is sort of the end game of all addictions. The more authentic you are, the more you're embodying the truth of who you are. The soul, the eternal, genderless, birthless, deathless, guiltless, sinless soul, right? It's just gonna have no need for addiction. Source energy surging through you to inspire the embodiment of your higher self. This mantra is ideal for resolving creative blocks, which makes sense. Healing traumas. What are our addictions mostly about? Is unfinished business, emotional trauma, as well as physical ones, and releasing blocks of stagnation, which addictions certainly create because it's a repetitive loop of pain and medication without healing. It's pretty fucking awesome, my Libras. Now look, if this is you, please remember to ask for help. Yes, I am a spiritual counselor and I have worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of addicts, because everybody's got one, right, over my career. But I really deal with the soul part of it. If you need help, ask for help. Hotlines everywhere. Google it, right? Pick up a phone. Please reach out. Now, if you are dealing with this in somebody else, same thing. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Here, we'll put this together, right? So it's saying you need to deal with an addict, right? Your own addictions or someone else's. But that there's an element, the part of the problem is the naivete here. It's like, oh, well, you know, they only all of the things. And if you look at the card, there's a man and two women. He's got pitchfork and horns, right? So he just the devil, but the woman in red is seeing him as an angel, right? Which is a little black and white for me, but it's an oracle system. And with that card of dreams, again, that there may absolutely be aspirations, and those dreams might be calling you forward into victory. It's like, but there are these things I want to do. Or if you are having turbulent dreams, right? Of course, take a look at your dream time stuff. The subconscious mind is where we hold a lot of our pain. It plays itself out through dreams as well. But there is also that sense of a bit of being in a dream world that I get. So all of those could be at play for anybody watching these, but it does feel like graphic equalizer, different levels of that. Saying rest and relaxation is essential, which also does make sense with that card of dreams, right? It's like to rest, to sleep, to dream, to visualize, right? And the mantra of expanding inner power for you is I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice. Give your creativity a voice. Now, people take creativity as like writing or music or art, but if you think about it, how many artists turn to addictions, drugs and alcohol, and how many of them are giving so much more access to them because if they're successful, their creativity. So there's a link there in terms of creating your reality, in terms of giving voice to the narrative that you're giving your life. Like, oh, this is my life and this is what I do. It's like, well, take a look at the story you're telling. I will never devalue somebody's story. I think our stories need to be heard. But remember, we are the authors of our story, but we are not the authors of our lives. That's the divine. The divine plan's written, honey. How we create our reality, in my opinion, 90%, if not more, through the narrative that we create in our own minds. But that we have control over. We can change how we read our own stories. Cool. And what a better time to rethink this and rest than full moon to new moon, particularly going from Cancer to Aquarius. It's going from like 4th house, the home, the emotions, into 11th house, transcendence, Aquarius, interaction with the world, humanitarian, all of that. Cool. Wonderful reading, my Libras. This was really an honor to do. This is very powerful stuff. There was very little light and fluffy here, though I tried to yuck it up a little bit with you. So may the Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs be blessed with all they need, all the expansion of inner power within them, for sure, their own creativity, for this full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius, January 2020. May you be blessed with the very, very blessed to grow, to heal, to learn, to become the best that you can be, and fulfill your role in the divine plan for the well-being of all. Thank you so much. Please do like and subscribe. Share if you know anybody. This might be an odd one to share. Yeah, it's about an addict. Don't worry, I'm not putting the archetypes in the title like I usually do. But thank you so much for watching. This one I'm sure went over a bit, but good. Needed to be said, and really, what an honor. Thank you so much. But as always, hail, farewell, and blessed be.